it's Tanya Beautiful here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm about to do a story time, and y'all, this story time is something that I've been wanting to do from the time I moved here, but I believe that people are so evil nowadays, like you can't trust them. So I was really just trying to avoid it, and I really wanted to just focus on how happy I was being in my apartment. But y'all, the things I endured with this landlord from hell. The story is going to be about a landlord from hell, okay? Lucifer himself, but in woman form. Just no heart. So let's start from the beginning. I become pregnant in 2012. In 2013, I'm about 6-7 months, and at this point I'm trying to find a place. I'm all over the place trying to find ads, trying to find apartments, trying to find rooms. Rent is really expensive. I'm not working. My daughter's father is the only person that's working, so it's difficult. When I was about 7 months, I found a realtor. Now this realtor was, I don't even know why they even put me in this position, but I mean, I was pregnant, I was desperate, I needed a place, I didn't have any help, and I needed to do what I had to do because it was stressful. Me and my daughter's father, we went to a realtor, and this realtor showed us a couple rooms, and there was 2 that she took us to look at. So the first one, it was disgusting. I was like, hell no, I'm not staying here. And the second one was pretty decent. The only messed up thing about this room was the fact that it didn't have a window. And it was furnished, so it was a little bit more than the other room next door to us. But yeah, every time I think about this shit, I just get so mad. We took it, okay? Fast forward to a couple days later, I get my key, I start moving my stuff in. I did not meet the woman yet. I'm gonna call my landlord, not her husband, that was the landlord, it was her basically. I'm gonna call her Cruella. I'm gonna call him Jay. So Cruella and Jay are married, and they are renting out a room in their basement in their private house, okay? And they are also renting out rooms above them. The whole house is theirs. They're renting out people upstairs, and they're renting out to 2 people downstairs, okay? Of course, upon moving there, I did not know this. I only found out this later on. I met Jay first. So I met Jay, and Jay was very nice. He was very welcoming. He was a very nice man, and I to this day don't have anything against him because he did not show me any bad face. Cruella, however, met me after Jay met me. Basically, once I started moving my stuff in and I was gonna be spending my first night, she came down to meet me. And when she saw me, the first thing she said was, "Oh, you look nice." With her face just like that. And it was kind of like she wasn't expecting, I don't know what she was expecting, but I don't think she was expecting a young, pretty pregnant girl. I didn't think she was expecting that. I think she was expecting to see somebody maybe a bit older. And I think at that moment, that was like my first red flag. I didn't say anything. I just, talked to her regular. But she never talked with a smile. She always was very serious. Her face was very mean at like literally all the time. And even if she was happy about something, she just always looked upset. Cut to a month later, I am seeing her, it's a high and by situation. We're paying our rent, and I had my daughter, and she started complaining now about him being there. She is coming down to knock on my door and tell me that my daughter's father cannot sleep there. With this room, she did not want him there. I found that difficult, being that I am a new mom, a first-time mom. And I was just telling her, I understand what you're saying, but I am not necessarily making him sleep here every night. He's just here, to make sure I'm doing good with the baby and things like that. And a lot of times he did a lot of overnight shifts, so it wasn't even like he was sleeping there. He was just like, he was there every day, of course, because his baby is there. I don't know what she really expected. So maybe about a month and a half, there's a flood, okay? I'm hearing woo, woo, and just a bunch of like noise. And all I know is a bunch of water starts flooding through my room. Jay, her husband, he comes downstairs running for the vacuum because I guess this has happened before and they know that this is an issue that goes on in their basement, but of course they don't tell people that. So they run for a vacuum to vacuum up the water, and she comes back and I'm just like, there's a lot of stuff that's damaged. There's a lot of Pampers that's damaged I have to throw away, a lot of clothes that she didn't get to wear that I have to throw away, a lot of things that we know when you have a baby are very expensive had to be thrown away because of the flood in your place. So even though I knew she didn't want to say this, she said, okay, we'll keep the rent money for this week to replace certain things. Now, the rent money was not enough to cover the things that I lost. I lost so many things because this wasn't even the first flood, okay? So now she tells us basically, with floodings, you can take pictures, report it, and then it's supposed to be like house insurance where they can give you back some money for the stuff that you were damaged. So me and my daughter's father are like, okay, well, let's take these pictures, let's, do what we gotta do. And of course she's gonna say everything that she can say. And she doesn't want that bad rep on her. So of course she's trying to make herself look good. So basically she's like, oh, yeah, you can do this and you can do that and you can get some money. I can help you guys get refunded the money. So I'm like, okay. So we do what she says, and weeks pass by. I'm asking her about it. She doesn't want to talk about that. Okay. So I finally said to her, you know what? I'm going to go to a precinct to ask a cop when floods happen, what is supposed to happen, because this is my first time renting a place and I've never been in a situation like this. She went crazy. Just make sure the rent is in the box. I don't know what you're gonna ask the cop, blah, blah, blah. So now she comes downstairs after a text message exchange because at this point, like I said, she's avoiding us. So I was texting her and this is what she said. Just make sure the rent is in the mailbox. So at that point, I knew that was another red flag. This woman don't care. She just cares about getting the money. At this point now, I'm frustrated with her. I don't even want to deal with her. But she comes downstairs, knocks on my door, and she's like, oh, well, Tanya, what do you expect? And I was like, you told us that you can get us refunded the money. Oh, no, you're supposed to move with your own insurance. Why am I moving with housing insurance when I'm moving into a room that's practically illegal, bitch? Like, are you out of your mind? She's there in my face talking all this shit, and at this point, like, I'm not saying anything. I'm just blanking her out, and I'm just like, yo, if she doesn't get away from me, I might say something that I'm gonna regret. So I just said to her, you know what? Here's the rent. Goodbye. Then I'm like, I don't have time for this. I have to go do the laundry. She goes upstairs and texts my phone after she gets the rent money. After being a bitch, she texts my phone, oh, I heard you say you want to go do the laundry. Do you want me to keep your daughter for you while you go do the laundry? First of all, I don't know you like that, okay? I only see you when I come in and out. I'm only renting from you. Hell no, you're not getting my baby to watch her because I can't trust you, and I don't know what you're capable of, because if you can lie to our face about getting refund back for the stuff that your basement damaged, how in the world do you expect us to leave our child with you while I go do the laundry? So I was like, no thank you, no thank you. So I noticed that she would always come downstairs and try to make conversation, but I never really spoke to her. I'm not a person that associate myself with people, especially people who are older than me. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't have an issue with people who are older than me, but I do feel like we don't have anything in common. But it wasn't just that with this lady. She was also creepy. She copied hairstyles, contact lenses that I wore, even outfits. Okay? And it's not the fact that I don't want to associate myself with you. It's just that I feel like we don't have anything in common, so we don't have anything to talk about. I'm way younger than you. You have kids that are big teenagers. What do we have in common for me and you to be able to sit down and talk about? There's nothing that we could talk about. So I'm not really a person that's always in people's face, and sometimes people could take that the wrong way and feel like, oh my gosh, like, why is she never talking to me? I noticed she started getting an attitude because I wouldn't really speak to her like that, but it didn't bother me because I'm like, we don't have nothing in common. About 3 months later, 3 or 4 months later, another flood happens again. Now this other flood happens again, and a lot more stuff gets damaged. This time, I'm like, listen, this is terrible. I can't be losing my things like this. And you know what she says to me? Well, why didn't you try to save the stuff? How am I gonna try to save the things when I have a baby to take care of, and can I stop water from running, dummy? Not to mention toilet water at that, bitch. You crazy. She's insulting me, basically like, you guys cannot get money every time something is damaged. Bitch, you are responsible. If my things, my daughter's things, especially my daughter's things, I didn't care too much about my stuff, but my daughter's stuff kept getting damaged. And this is a room where there's not much storage. And at this point, I'm done with her. Like, I don't want to have nothing to do with this bitch. Like, nothing. I just began moving very differently with her. Meaning, I wasn't talking to her, I wasn't saying nothing to her. From the second flood, I started getting money orders for her to have to cash. She had a problem with that. In my mind, why do you not want me to have proof of me paying you rent when my stuff is getting damaged? You're telling me you're not responsible. I can't trust you. So at this point, I'm getting money orders and she's getting mad. Oh, it's going to be too much for me to cash them and I can't do that. And I'm just like, well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to have to do it. You know, you're going to have to do that. So then she kept coming, and eventually I started making her signing a receipt book every time she took money from me. And I still have the receipt book. I have the pictures of the stuff that was damaged. I still have all of that, you guys, all of that. This flood happens for a third time, okay? Now with the third flood, I didn't lose as much stuff because, hello, all my shit was already gone by the time the third flood came, okay? Even my roommate, person that was sharing downstairs with me, ended up buying my daughter a few outfits because at this point we had shit, we had nothing. So now I am in the room and I'm beginning to itch. My skin is itching, my skin is breaking out with really, really bad eczema, really, really bad sores, and I don't know where it's coming from. My daughter's skin is breaking out with really, really bad heat bumps and really funny like little things. And I noticed, I was trying to clean the floor one day and I noticed that because of all the flooding, right, there was mold building up on every piece of furniture that was in that room, that she had in that room. So there's mold on the walls, there's mold on the furniture, and I have a not even 1-year-old yet. My daughter is only like probably 6-7 months old, and there's mold everywhere. And I tell her about it, and she comes and says, well, let me take some pictures of it and things like that. And I'm just like, I had to clean up some of the mold because my daughter is here, I can't, you know. So my ass left out some of the story. So at this point, the reason why she comes downstairs to take the pictures is because I cleaned up some of the mold and she thought I was lying. So she wanted to get her own proof. Basically showing me she didn't want to take responsibility for anything that was done in this basement. She wanted to blame me for everything. I made sure I had pictures of my own though. And basically she wanted to buy another furniture set, but at this point I knew that I was going to try to get out of there. But Cruella wanted to buy this bedroom set so she could charge me more money. So I didn't want any furniture from her. I didn't want her to replace any furniture. I was like, you know what, I don't want any furniture, I'm good. So I dismissed her out the room, like goodbye. Probably like a week or two later, I'm sleeping with my daughter and I feel things flying on me. When my baby father turns on the light, there are bugs, little ants, like you know the ants with the wings on them. They're flying through a little hole that they burrowed by my TV. These flying on me and my baby, y'all, in the night in my bedroom. And I tell her about it, and of course she thinks I'm lying. So at this point we're really at each other's necks. I'm not feeling you, bitch, she's not feeling me, And I'm making sure she knows that, because I'm not speaking to her, I'm not dealing with her. She's inviting me into the backyard for events that she's having, and I'm just like, I don't fuck with you. I'm not going. After all these things have happened, and I feel like there's no justice, there's no nothing happening, my mom and actually someone that she knew through someone else, he was basically someone who was like a representative for the community. He knows a lot of things about court and things like that. They notified me to call 311. Before I call 311, because of the mold on the furniture, I removed the furniture from the room because I don't want the mold around my daughter. And I take a bed that my mother gave me and I start sleeping on that. I remove everything out of the room. I don't want none of her furniture. Everything is rusty. Everything is breaking down because of all the mold and all the water, all the flooding that happened. And at this point, I'm sleeping on broken furniture. So I moved everything out of the room. Okay. So now, because I remove everything out of the room, I cut the rent. Okay. She had an issue with me cutting the rent. I told her, if I don't have your furniture, why do I have to still pay you for the furniture? The furniture is damaged. I don't want your furniture in my room. Oh, it doesn't work like that. Bitch, it does work like that. So now she tells me that I have to leave. So I call 311. And when I call 311, 311 basically tells me, you have mold. You have bugs flying through your wall. You have pictures. You have floods, you have pictures of damaged clothes, you have pictures of everything. She can't evict you. She can't tell you to go. She has to give you time. And while she's giving you time, you are not allowed to pay her a dime. So I'm there and I'm not paying her anything. So now she's going crazy. She's coming downstairs. When are you leaving? When are you leaving? When are you leaving? I don't open the door. I'm like, I'm gonna leave. I'm just gonna let you know when I'm going to leave, okay? You can't push me. You have to give me time. So long story short, she's not happy with the fact that I'm there and I'm not paying her any rent. She wants to rent it to somebody else so she can rob another person. Now at this point, she doesn't know that I called 311, but she did serve me an eviction notice. And I went downtown with the eviction notice and they notified me that it was an illegal eviction. So that made her even more mad. 311 comes down to investigate. And when they come down to investigate, they find out that the basement is illegal and she's not supposed to be renting that room to me. It is actually not a basement. It's actually a cellar because it is way lower than a basement. So the basement is illegal. And then before getting notified by 311, before she got notified by 311, she brought someone downstairs to the room to look at the room, and basically he was in my face telling me, oh, that's not true, she's lying, nothing is there. Mind you, the ceiling is open, there's bugs coming out the ceiling because the ceiling was like one of those crack ceilings where you can like lift the tile up. So you can see inside of the ceiling, and he's basically like, no, she's lying. There was nothing coming through here. And I was like, you know what? You guys get out of my room. And I called my mom, and when I called my mom called the cops, and the cops came, and I told them straight up, like, listen, this is what she's doing. She's harassing me. I want to go. And they basically told her she cannot bother me anymore while I'm there. So now she gets notified by 311, okay? She gets a letter in the mail that her basement, you know, is they're coming down on you. And I'm leaving the basement to go to my mom's house, and she sees me in the driveway. She's like, oh, you called 311? I said, yes, I did. You need to hurry up and take your baby out of here. Like, get out of here with your baby. And I was like, excuse me? And she was like, you heard me, you need to get out of here, you need to get out of here. And I think she cursed at me too. At this time, I was already on my way to my mom's house, so my mother told me to just come and leave her place. So I went to my mom's house. I came back. When I came back, basically she came back downstairs again. And what she would do is try to nitpick at things at me. So this time she's downstairs and my baby bottle was in the sink. I was in and out the whole week. Appointments, just doing a lot of things for my mom, things like that. So I was really in and out that whole week. So her bottle and a pot was in there. And the bottle I had planned to throw away because I had actually had it in the room and I left it in the pot to soak. She comes downstairs and she sees the pot and she's like, oh, I'm seeing the pot again. You need to get this pot out the sink. I was like, I heard you. Get the fuck out of my face. So now she's like, excuse me? I said, get out of my face. Why the fuck are you in my face? Because at this point, I feel like she's provoking me and she's trying to push me to do something to her so that she can get me in trouble. You understand what I'm saying? So I was like, get the fuck out of my face. And she walks away and she was like, fuck you. And she was like, cussing in Jamaican, but she's not Jamaican. Her husband is Jamaican. She's Trini, but she wants to pretend like she's Jamaican because she heard that I have Jamaican background. And my mother came to the room after this, and my mother was like, you're bullying her. You're a fucking bully. This was like maybe a week later. You're a fucking bully. And she was just like, I'm not bullying your daughter. I'm not bullying your daughter. I'm not doing this and that. And my mom is trying to talk to her and she's being disrespectful. She's being very like nonchalant about the whole situation. Like she just doesn't care. Like, I just want your daughter out of here. Like, I don't care. And my mother was literally ready. I was just like, you know what? Let's go. Like, let's just go. Her daughters had came downstairs with knives and like they were going to do something. I don't know. I'm going to call her daughters Thing 1 and Thing 2 because I don't know their name and I don't know them like that. So Thing 1 and Thing 2 came downstairs trying to see if their mother was in trouble, which, and I expect that's their mother. They was trying to see if she needed help, needed protection. Whatever the case may be, that house was an evil fucking house because all of them was about it. And at this point, it's like really war, okay? At this point, she calls the police and she tells the police that me and my mother tried to fight her and all this other stuff. And I just broke down crying one night because this same night that she called the police, I broke down crying because I just felt like she was picking at me and she was provoking me on purpose and she wanted me to do something to her. And because I wasn't doing anything to her, she was really pushing. And I don't like people provoking me. And I hate when you're doing something to me and I can't do something back to you. If you do something to me and I can't do it back to you, it's gonna hurt me. So it was pissing me off. So 311, like I said, they came down, they investigated, they found out the basement is illegal. She's mad because she didn't know that they came down to her place. She's mad because of that. So now 311 is like, listen, we're going to shut down your whole operation. We're going to shut the whole thing down, honey, because this is illegal and it's illegal for you to have a young girl and her baby down here. And you have mold and you have bugs and you have all these things, and they had pictures and they had evidence, they had everything, okay? And basically what happened is Red Cross came and removed us out of the basement, me and the neighbor, and put us in a hotel for the weekend and gave us some money. What happened is I was supposed to be waiting on my apartment. Now, I ended up going to my mother's house to wait for the apartment, but things were very stressful over there, so I didn't really want to stay there. So I started my process of getting my place. And when I started my process of getting my place, I brought in all the information. Now they asked me to bring in your prior landlord's number and all of that other stuff. And I explained to the guy, listen, I don't think that that's a good idea because me and her, we had issues because she was basically renting me an illegal basement. And because I reported her for all the damages that was caused and all the bugs and all the mold and all the stuff that was going on, she's mad. She doesn't like me. I don't think that that's a good idea. What they do is they contact her, and you know what she does? She lies on me. She says that I tried to fight her. She says that I tried to do these things to her. She says that I'm a bad tenant. Do not ever rent to me or my baby father. And because of her, me and my daughter ended up practically homeless for 3 years. That's why I was so stressed out, because I just could not understand why this was happening to me. But I knew for a fact that God was putting me through this for a reason. Just understand that you can't just trust anybody. And that lady was evil as hell, and I wish that I had never even met her. But if I did not go through what I went through, I wouldn't be as humble as I am today, because I've been through so much with my daughter. And because of her, I could not get my apartment for about 3 years. I had to fight her allegations for 3 years. I had to get statements from everybody for 3 years. And I had to get pictures. I had to pull up voice messages that she sent to his mother's house, cursing his mother out because she wanted us out of her place. And after 3 long years, they finally sent me a letter telling me, okay, we found out that you are telling the truth. We are going to continue your case to get your apartment. And I was happy, but I was pissed at the same time because I waited 3 years for an apartment and I finally got it. You know what I'm saying? And moral of the story is, you don't know who people are and you have to be very, very careful. Always have evidence, always have proof of rent, things like that. And don't rent a place that you don't know. Make sure when you're renting that there's somebody that knows about places there to help you, not just the realtor. Just do your research, because I wish I did my research, because once I left there and I did my research, I found out that she not only had issues with me, but she had issues with about 5 other tenants before me, and they all took her to court. Fast forward, I tried taking her to court to get money for the stuff that was damaged, and I could not get reimbursed because her basement was illegal. So technically, the money that I paid her is not even relevant. So she got away with all of that. But you know what? In the end, I still won because I'm still here. I'm still strong, and her basement was shut down and she can't rent to anybody. She had to remove those rooms and change everything around. She had to. And I'm just glad she's not able to scam anybody else. And I'm just glad that I am away from that stressful situation and I'm able to move on and still be positive and still be strong about it. Me and my daughter are doing great now, okay? That is just a testimony, honey, that, you know, we've been through so much. We've been practically homeless for 3 years, back and forth between people's places, basements, cellars, all these type of things. We went through so much, but you know what? In the end, I won. We both won. So that's the story about my landlord from hell. And I hope you guys never have to deal with a bitch like that. And I'm glad that I don't have to deal with her anymore. And yeah, I'm thankful. Thank God. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this story time. Comment below, let me know what you guys want me to do next, and I will see you guys in my next video.